How to know if you're in a relationship with a controlling female. 7 signs that indicate that you are. The first sign is that she checks your phone. When you meet or you get home, first thing she does is grab your phone, go through your text messages, go through your phone, look at your Instagram, see if you're DMing anybody, wanting to see what you're doing. When you try to pull your phone back, she says, if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have anything to hide. So not only is she checking your phone, she's also making you feel guilty if you don't allow her to do so. Another indication is that she's constantly questioning your word, asking you questions, and you find yourself explaining to the point of nauseam, and in that process, she still finds more questions to ask and still thinks that you're guilty. An interesting indication is that she finds faults in all your friends. And to their face, she's very nice, but behind their back, she has comments about everybody. Another indication is that she finds fault in your family. She finds faults in all your family members, and you might be a real family person, and so it seems over time she's talking about your family, making you feel bad about spending time with your family, and over a period of time you begin to push your family away because she doesn't like being around them. She can be super jealous and finds faults in the way that you act in public. So if you two are going out, let's say you're waiting on a table, you go to the bar and grab 2 drinks, you think you've done this great thing for her, you come back and she's commenting about how you were flirting with the waitress or how you look funny at one of the women at one of the tables on the way back to her. And it seems like she's always kind of guilting you in that situation and making comments about the way you act in public. Another indication is that there's absolutely no personal space in a controlling relationship. You can't do anything like downtime. You try to just hang out. Maybe you're just chilling at home on your own. Constant barrages of text, asking you what you're doing, what's going on. If you want to go out with a friend of yours, constant texting, maybe calling, what are you doing, what's going on, where are you? And so it feels like you can never have any downtime. It seems like the only downtime you can have is with her. Last but not least is that she uses anger and outbursts to control you. When was the last time that somebody yelled or screamed at you? What did you want to do? You wanted to calm them down. You wanted to give them whatever they wanted to get them to be quiet. And that's what happens is we acquiesce to what they want. We don't realize how it takes from us. We don't realize how they're walking over our boundaries and we're allowing them to walk over our boundaries. And ultimately, every time we give in to these anger outbursts, giving more and more of ourselves, we actually take away our freedom. We take away our independence, and we're absolutely giving that other person our personal power. If you're looking for more relationship guidance and advice, check out the rest of the videos right here on TikTok.
How many of your decisions in your marriage as a wife are rooted in selfishness and control and you having complete disregard for your husband? And I really want you to think about this before you answer. How often are you making decisions that are only based on your input, that are only based on the turnout and the way that it will work out for you? And I think that we should consider this, and we should start talking about this, because I think what happens sometimes is we get married and now we think that we are the mother of these men, and we start to assume this role of I know what's best, and we forget that in your marriage you're supposed to submit to your husband, right? And it's not to say that you shouldn't have any input. It's not even to say that he shouldn't consult you on what should be done and what shouldn't be done. But it is to say that some of us aren't even comfortable allowing the husbands to lead or even having his input at all. And a lot of times we find ourselves in situations where we are trying most of our lives to convince our husband to be on our page instead of just surrendering and allowing him to be the leader, right? And relaxing in what that is. But we like to have this control because we feel like if we don't control the situation, we're going to lose our independence. We like to be able to dictate what's going on, and we like to be able to make all these final decisions, all the while complaining about how tired and overwhelmed we are. And I think that if we could see the connection between wanting to have so much control and wanting to have so much say-so in every little aspect that happens in our relationship, that and the fact that we do tend to be overwhelmed, overworked, we're tired, overstimulated, tapped out. But if we stopped trying to control everything, and we stopped trying to be the person who had the final say-so, and we stopped trying to be the person that's at the center of everything, trying to hold it all together and trying to make sure this happens, like, take a couple step backs. Actually submit to your husband and let him take over some of that stuff, and you'll find that you won't be overstimulated. You won't be as tired. You won't be as exhausted. Like, yes, you're still going to be tired from doing the things that are supposed your responsibility, but there's going to be so much lifted from you if you just let go of some things. And this is easier said than done. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to go sit with this today and I'm going to do it today and I'm letting it all go. Sometimes it's a process, because letting go of things really does make you feel like you're being stripped of your personality or stripped of your independence. But I think that you should give it a try.
Well, baby, yes, she was controlling. She was very controlling. But here's the problem. You told me you didn't want a woman with a controlling spirit because you've had those issues before and they didn't work out for you. 3 weeks into dating her, you saw that come out, but you kept dating her. What did you think, it was going to go away? I know you didn't. I'm going to tell you what you did. I got to call you BS because I love you. You allowed your body to dictate whether or not she was going to stay in your life or not. And then you didn't count on the fact that you were going to be going back and back and back and back. And now you're in love with probably not her, but all that. Not even thinking that there are millions of women with all that stuff she's got going on, and then they don't have a controlling spirit. So as long as you allow your body to dictate who stays in your life, you're going to have this kind of problem, and you cannot blame it on her, baby. I love you. Be well.
This is the number one sign that you lost control of your relationship. If your girl trying to dictate where you go, what time you need to be back, and the friends you allowed to be around, and you've lost control of your relationship. No woman should ever be able to dictate what you do with your time, especially if you handling your business as a man. And some women will play the role of being cool and acting like they secure at the beginning. But when they know they got you in love, that's when they flip the script on your ass and get you to comply with their demands. Most guys go the whole relationship without checking a woman. You so afraid she gonna cut you off from sex, you don't want no problem. If your mindset in a relationship is that you don't want to argue or you scared of getting cut off from sex, then make sure you follow my page for more game like this.
Is your wife being controlling? Hey, don't shoot the messenger on this, guys, but it may be your fault that she is acting controlling. Let me explain what I mean, okay? Because this has a good ending. By telling you this, you're going to feel more masculine and like more of a leader in your relationship. Here we go. If she's acting controlling, it may be because there's an underlying anxiety around where you're taking the marriage, the family, the relationship. If you have not cast a vision for where this whole thing is going, this relationship, it's going to leave her wondering. Now, this can kind of be like the frog in the boiling pot of water. Like, it's not something that you ever laid out. You never laid a 3 to 5 year vision out. And so you've been rolling without one and it seems to be working. But subconsciously, she's going to wonder about, where are we going to be 5 years from now financially, living, kids, career-wise, us-wise. Let me just reframe it so that you understand what I mean. If you go to work for a company and the CEO has no vision, you are going to wonder where it's going. If things start to not maybe go that well, or there's a little stress, and the CEO, the owner of the company is not really communicating, hey, we're going to be good, like here's the long-term plan, you might start to look around and go, maybe I need to be in a more stable company. And you might start to feel anxious, and your behavior might start to get a little weird and controlling because, hey, you want to make sure that things are going to be okay. So if this is not something you're communicating at home, you're not acting like that CEO, she may start to feel anxious, and then the controlling behavior comes out as a result of that anxiety. So the hack here is to start putting together a 3 to 5 year vision. We had a guy in our program who just realized he was doing this. So he's communicated to her, hey, here's a business deal that I'm trying to put together. He was excited about it, so was she. It went sideways. He came back, told her that it fell through, but he didn't communicate the plan B, which he actually had. He actually had the plan B, but he didn't communicate it to her. And then she started to get controlling, anxious, and, be a little bit hard to be around. And the insight realization for him was, wait, I didn't communicate to her what the plan B was and that things are going to be okay. So that's kind of your job as a husband, to start being more communicative around what the plan B is, or the plan in the first place. So I hope this helps. Follow me for more tips.
If your husband listened to everything you told him to do, he wouldn't be your husband. He would be your child. You see, there's a big difference between parenting and partnering. And marriage is supposed to be an opportunity for two people to come together with their own ideas, their own opinions, and challenges that you guys get to work through in deciding what is best for the both of you to continue growing and moving forward together. But your controlling spirit will trick you into believing that by you being in control and dictating what happens and when and how, that you will just feel better, that things will just be more efficient that way. But what I want to remind you of is that your controlling spirit is only an opportunity for you to lose yourself, build up a whole bunch of resentment, and eventually burn out. You understand?